Hey everybody, and welcome to Lex's World. And in a bit of a fun-filled episode today, we are going to be showing off some different grinders. And I'm going to compare to you guys the difference between a really simple $5 to $10 grinder like this little plastic two-piece versus about a $60 or $70 grinder, which is this four-piece space case. And we're going to be showing off this $150 roughly Lift Innovations grinder, which is a four-piece. So let's compare and contrast them all and how well they grind and all that kind of thing. And we'll start off with this little guy. They are between $5 and $10 depending on where you get them. And the good ones happen to have a little magnet in the middle. And they also have a little hidden storage compartment right here. But the problem is that they rely on these plastic teeth. And the plastic teeth are sharp on the onset, but they actually wear down. And then the grinder doesn't spin as well. But you can see if I put some weed in there and turn, because it's new, it's turning quite well. The grind is pretty quick. And as you can see, it grinded everything up pretty fine. So no big complaints with this grinder. But the problem is as I said, as it gets old and sticky, it becomes a little bit tougher to spin. And you need to put some torque behind it. And yeah, it will sooner or later break. It is kind of flimsy. So this is not a forever grinder. This is a grinder that you can take to a party or camping and feel pretty good about losing. Or at least if you lose it, it doesn't really matter because you can always go out, spend $5 on another one. The next grinder I'm going to show you guys is this. This is a four-piece space case that my regular viewers would have seen. And the reason I like the space case grinder is because it's got all of the features that a really good grinder should have, and it's not a super unreasonable price. And what you have in it is a nice and powerful magnet that'll hold down the lid no matter how hard you shake. It's got a bunch of sharp teeth. It's got plenty of holes in the sifting area so that your material doesn't get stuck in the top compartment. If you open it up, the threading is nice and thick. You're not going to have any cross threading. You have a really nice deep bowl for the herb area, and you also have at the bottom a little keef collector. There you go. And as you guys can see, everything's super clean because I cleaned this in the last episode. And if you put a little bit of weed into it, let's see how it functions. It's been a while since I've had it this clean, so this should be cool. And this is completely effortless, especially when the grinder is this clean, but space cases are really good, so even once they get old and full of stickiness, they turn pretty easily. And voila, it also has absolutely no difficulty grinding up the herb really fine. So let's clean this up. Voila. And now we move on to this Lift Innovations grinder, which I thought was very interesting. It is Canadian made, and with all of the accessories, which are quite numerous, it actually runs about $150. So it actually comes with 3 different screens that'll determine how much keef falls through the grinder. As you guys can see, I've been testing it out for the last couple of weeks. It's got several sifting screens, 3 to be precise, and I put in the medium one into the bottom right here because I felt that this one wouldn't cut up fine enough and this was a little too fine, so I quickly switched it out to this. And the reason I could switch it out so easily is that it comes with this tool, and you can actually remove the various rings really easily with this tool, and that lets you get at the screens and the sifters very easily. Ta-da! Super simple. I thought that was kind of cool. The other cool thing is that even though it comes with a relatively deep bowl and a relatively deep keef collector, it actually comes with this bonus chamber, and you can install that whichever way you want. Personally, I would like to install it like this and get the herb collection area to be twice as deep. Here's the other feature of this grinder. When you open it up, you have this kind of blade that spins, and it connects into the cover of the grinder up here. This is probably the most interesting and unique thing about the design of this one, because when you do it this way, you create a lot of torque on the cover, making it enormously easy to spin it, even if it starts to get sticky. So we'll just put a couple of pieces in again, just to show you guys. And it spins really, really effortlessly. Ta-da! And here's the one issue I found with this grinder. They tried to create this super nice torquey design with a fancy blade, but it sometimes means that even as you spin, the herb doesn't come all the way down because it can't get caught on the blade. So sometimes as a result, you end up spinning for longer with this $150 grinder. But in the end, as you can see, everything works out. And you get, again, very fine weed. Look at how huge that is with the extra compartment on there. It's pretty crazy. So overall, final thoughts on these three grinders. This one, I have worked in a head shop, and I can tell you that a larger amount of people buy something like this than anything else. They just want a really simple grinder that's compact and doesn't cost a lot of money, and this works for a bunch of people. I have always found these to get a little bit sticky, and I found them to not cut as well once they get a little bit used up. Now, this space case I really love. I've had it for a long time. It's very compact. By the way, all of these are 2 and a bit inches, so they're the same size. You can actually stack them right on top of another and fits perfectly. But in any case, this grinder is a really good one, and it's only 60 bucks, and it'll last you a lifetime, especially if you clean it out occasionally using the method I showed off in the last episode. Now, this, I found that it was very feature heavy, and there's a lot that you can do with it, as I demonstrated. The blade weakness thing, as I said, is its biggest problem. I would buy this grinder if I was an old lady or somebody with wrist problems, or somebody who wanted their grinder to be some kind of big brand statement when they bring it out. For myself, a grinder is just a grinder, and I did not like this twice as much as I like this. So for myself, I can't justify the price, but I can see how some people would want something fancy like this and go for it. I will link to all these different grinders in the video description, and if you enjoyed this little comparison, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'll see you next time on Lex's World, and stay lit, everybody.